Honky Tonkin is a country music classic. I'm going to show you how easy it is to strum your way through this tune, and stick around because I'm going to show you how you can begin improvising with lead guitar on this tune. I'm going to show you some great riffs and the music theory behind those riffs. For Honky Tonkin, you only need 2 chords. That's a big reason why I love teaching this song. You'll need E major and B7. And with B7, you have the option of taking your middle finger off of the 5th string 2nd fret, moving it over to the 6th string 2nd fret. And now it's known as a B7/F sharp chord, a B7 chord with F sharp in the bass. That's the low note. I'm intentionally letting my finger dampen out the 5th string there. Okay, we'll talk more about this chord later. Now with the strumming, nice simple boom chick strumming where you hit a bass string and then give a down strum on 3, 4, 5 treble strings, and then immediately snap your picking hand back to deaden the sound. Boom chick. I'm going to alternate the bass notes. I'm hitting the 6th string and then the 5th string. That's what I'm going to do for the E chord, and this song is almost entirely made of the E chord. By the way, the 6th string, your open E string, that's giving us the root note, right? The root note of the E major chord. Now, when it comes time to play the B7 chord with a boom chick strum, of course, we could hit the 5th string 2nd fret. There it is. There's the root note. Now we're in the world of B7. That's the note B. 5th string 2nd fret is the note B. And that's the entire contribution of the B7 chord, by the way. That little thing you just heard, that's all you're going to do for the B7 that one time. Now, to keep things interesting, like I mentioned before, instead of what I just did, I could finger B7 this way, hit the 6th string 2nd fret, and then strum the other, maybe 3 or 4 treble strings. Nice creative alternative. Since we're hitting that note B so often during the E chord, when it comes to the B7 chord, it'd be nice to have that middle finger over there on the 6th string 2nd fret. Okay, personal choice. A little bit harder, I think, but we'll talk about that in the next section of the tune. All right, so there you go. Boom chick strumming, E and B7, and then stick around. Don't forget, I'm going to show you some nice lead guitar playing that you can do in this tune as well. Let's get started with the verse. So grab your E major chord and settle in because the B7 doesn't show up for quite a while. 1, 2, here we go. When you are sad and lonely and have no place to go, call me up, sweet baby, and bring along some dough. Honky tonkin', honky tonkin', honky tonkin', honey baby. And let me show you the ending there with the B7/F sharp, the B7 chord with F sharp in the bass, just to show you a little twist. Honky tonkin' round this town. I like it because it adds a little something to the mix, right? That F sharp. Now, if you choose to grab that F sharp note, check this out. We're on the E major, obviously. You got to commit your middle finger to grabbing that F sharp immediately, even before your other fingers have formed the rest of the B7 chord, okay? You got to do it. You can't put everything down one at a time and then continue your strumming. It'll slow you down. It'll eat up time. So in slow motion, honky tonkin' round this town. Okay? My middle finger hopped over. It's easy, right? But these fingers have to be in motion. So even as you're hitting that 6th string, they got to be in motion, finding their spots. You know? And same thing when it's time to finish this B7/F sharp and go back to the E major. Hit the 6th string first. It's an open string, right? Even before your E major chord is fully formed. That's okay. You'll get there in time with practice. But you can't stop and wait for these fingers to get into place before you hit an open string, right? There's no logic to that. Okay, little tip there. Now, let's have some fun with the lead guitar. So let's learn some lead guitar riffs and the scale the riffs come from. so that you can play along with Honky Tonkin, whether you're playing along with the original recording, or you're playing with a friend, or you've recorded yourself playing the chords and singing the tune, and you want to add on some lead guitar. So I can show you the riffs. That takes just a minute, but I really want to show you where the riffs come from, and then I promise we'll get right to the riffs. Song's in the key of E, no shocker, right? Because it's based on the E chord. You can't get away from the E chord in this song. So we're in the key of E. Not surprisingly, the E major scale is a good starting point. I'm going to illustrate the E major scale on the first E string. Okay, E major scale, it's beautiful sound. Now, to give it the right kind of feel for a country tune like this, we're going to omit a couple of notes, and we're going to take the E major scale and turn it into an E major pentatonic scale. So what do I do there? Well, the E major scale is 8 notes. Really, it's 7 notes because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 8th note is the note E, just a high version of the E that I start on. So really, it's 7 different notes, okay? 7 different names. We're going to omit the 4th and the 7th. That leaves us with E, F sharp, G sharp, not the A, B, C sharp, not the D sharp, and of course we're back at the high E. So we have a 5-note major pentatonic scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now there's something about the major pentatonic sound, or the minor pentatonic sound for that matter, that is just a fantastic sound for playing lead guitar solos for lots of styles of music, including country. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to teach you a couple of riffs that are based on the E major pentatonic scale. The riffs aren't going to go up the neck like this, but I am going to be playing those 5 notes. I'm just going to be playing them in different parts of the guitar. E, F sharp, G sharp, B, and C sharp. And we're going to mess with one of those notes a little bit from the very first riff that I show you. So check this one out. So what am I doing here? Well, I'll tell you physically what I'm doing. I'm doing a hammer-on the second skinny string, the B string, with a downstroke, upstroke on the first open string, the open E string, same hammer-on again, same upstroke on the open first string. Now, a double pull-off, 3rd fret, 2nd fret open. Only one pick, right? Only one downstroke. Both of my fingers are holding on. Okay, double pull-off, great sound. Back to the 2nd string, 2nd fret, for a downstroke, open first string. Now you may say to yourself, now wait a minute, what's up with that 3rd fret on the first string? That wasn't one of the notes on the pentatonic scale, and you're absolutely right. The major pentatonic has the E, F sharp, and G sharp. I didn't say anything about the G natural right there, right? Now, we're getting to the good stuff. What I did there was I chose to play the flatted 3rd note. Instead of that G sharp, the 3rd degree of the E major scale, I flatted it for a bluesy effect. I played G natural instead. You're allowed to do that, especially if you like the way it sounds, and who doesn't like the way that sounds? Okay, so we just moved from the major pentatonic scale into the world of the blues by 1 note. We flatted the G sharp, made it G natural. We're in the world of the blues. Okay, now those notes I just played, by the way, open B string, C sharp on the B string, open E string, the G natural, the F sharp, okay? I'm going to play a lot of those same notes in a new position here. Check out this second riff. A 3, 4. Ooh, had a nice little bend in there, right? So 3rd string, 4th fret. I used my middle finger. The middle finger is important. 3rd string, 4th fret, sliding up to the 6th string, 3rd fret. That's the note B, sliding up to the note C sharp. Those are both notes from the major pentatonic scale. 5th fret, 2nd string. That's the note E right there. There's another way of playing the note E. Now, here's my F sharp on the same string. Nice little pull off back to the E. Now here I am back at the F sharp. I'm going to do a 3-finger bend. I'm going to bend the F sharp so it sounds like the G. The G is the next fret up. And let it release back to where I started from. Definitely important to use 3 fingertips. They're all touching the same string. So it's an F sharp, and then it's a G, and then it's back to F sharp again. Middle finger reaches over, 6th string, 3rd fret for the C sharp. Back to the E, the root note, right? We're in the world of E here. 5th fret, 2nd string. So here comes one more time, a 3, 4. Nice, right? Okay, last one. 3, 4, 1. Oop, too high. 7th fret. 3, 4, 1. One more time. 3, 4, 1. So that bend, I'm starting with that bend. 2nd string, 7th fret, 3 fingers total touching that string, okay? The first thing I do is I bend it, and I leave it bent. See that? It's staying there. Pinky, that's a high B note, 7 on the 1st string. Now I pluck the 2nd string again, it's still bent. Okay, I'm starting to feel that in my flesh a little bit. And then you're home free. Now the ideal, and this might take you a little bit of practice, you do that first bend, make sure that note is still ringing. So now I hear 2 notes at the same time. It's that pedal steel guitar effect. You gotta love that. So with practice, work on getting that bent note to continue ring. Don't let the sound die off. So it's ringing the whole time. Oh, and ideally, that pinky note is still ringing when you do the release. Bend, pinky, release. Again, that pedal steel effect. All right, everybody, little lead guitar. Awfully fun to be able to play a lead guitar solo as well as playing the chords. And you've got the whole package of the rhythm guitar player and the lead guitar player. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to check out my website down there, Songbike. And I'll see you for another song tomorrow.